So, hello everyone, and welcome to today's DYCE Espresso. Thank you all for being here. So the session is, as always, being recorded, and you will automatically receive the link to the recording via email after the session. And you will also be able to find this DYCE Espresso and all our DYCE Espressos, just in case you missed them, on our website and YouTube channel. So today we have a much awaited topic. Our DYCE product owner, Toby Schwedler, is going to give an outlook on Microsoft subscription billing and its extensibility with the new BC version and the compatibility of our DYCE apps, as well as a sneak peek at our brand new app. So should you have any questions, there will be plenty of time after the presentation in the Q&As. And yeah, over to you, Toby. Thank you very much.
Yeah, good morning from my side. Thank you all for having me. Yeah, so actually, this is a DYCE Espresso, but we tend to call it a ristretto, right? Because some of this may already been known, and it's actually, I think it's a kind of a short version. But let's see how long it takes, even if we enter the discussion in the end. Okay, so what do we going to talk about today? We do a short recap on the SRB and UBB apps from DYCE going to being integrated into BC standard. Then we have the DYCE portfolio compatibility. This is a topic that took us for quite a while now, for a couple of months. And I would give you like the latest update on this one, but not only on the compatibility, but also on the data migration, like how to go there or how to get there from subscription and recurring billing to the Microsoft subscription billing. And there are even full features included that are not even in the SRB or DYCE apps anymore, but now we support them together with Microsoft. And then there's the lookout that you already talked about, the feature suite, the upcoming feature suite. That's actually not brand new because it's not released yet, but it will be soon. So it's kind of like a lookout and a sneak peek. Okay, so first the recap. Last time we had also this overview of the DYCE apps. I don't want to go into details here, but as you can imagine, since these two apps are going to be taken out or are about to be taken out of the DYCE portfolio and have already been moved to the BC standard, this affects a lot of other apps. And what this means regarding compatibility, we're going to take a look at that in a minute. But first of all, the important information is that Microsoft subscription billing, that's how the app is officially called, covers all the features of DYCE subscription and recurring billing and DYCE usage-based billing, and even more. So, but what does this mean in total? Well, in the end, so these green highlighted apps here are the ones we are talking about, which have been modified in one way or the other. And so this was quite a work for us to do, actually. And first of all, we have been updating, or we have been actually releasing the migration like explanation and how to as part of our DYCE SRB docs. So if you click on that link here, you will see this page, English and German, and it like describes everything you need to know about prerequisites that have to be met. It's kind of a checklist that you may take a look before you start doing that. Some additional notes, and then there's also dates. So when what is our plan to sunset and finally terminate subscription and recurring billing and usage-based billing, and even take it out of AppSource. So it's the middle of next year. So it's actually the time to start acting on it is now, more or less. And then there's the procedure, like how to carry out this, what needs to be done. And the last chapter, the compatibility, already shrink tremendously because it's now all the DYCE apps are compatible, which is actually a good thing. So yeah, take a look at these docs and read through them carefully. But the routines that we are shipping with as part of DYCE subscription recurring billing can be extended for customizations. It's very important that you can address this if you have customizations. And carrying out the data migration by the help of DYCE is subject to a charge. I think you already know this, and you need to request this activation through our salespeople. And of course, recommendation is to undertake this as a test in the sandbox. So next thing for you to do would be check your customizations and re-implement them with Microsoft subscription billing, and then you may modify and change and add to the migration steps if necessary. And to give you an idea on when do you need to do this data migration, based on with the help of DYCE, if a customer has a table extension, or if you have a table extension to an SRB or UBB table, or if you're using custom layouts for documents. This is always like an indicator that you may take a closer look for yourself together with us. Let's talk about it. And so once you're done with this, in most cases, you will be able to uninstall DYCE subscription recurring billing and usage-based billing because you won't need them anymore, except you're using managed service providers or recurring prepaid services. These two apps still require a technical dependency on the DYCE subscription recurring billing app, which will then stay in the background. It's not visible anymore, but if you cannot uninstall it because there's this dependency of these two apps to it. So you need to leave the SRB app in these cases installed. But you don't need an hide app anymore. So this is like part of the functionality that's kind of included in the DYCE SRB app. So, for example, like not showing the SRB parts anymore. This is part of the whole functionality. And if you coming from an older version, VC25, for example, and you had already the hide app installed for SRB, then you can of course uninstall this now because you don't need it anymore. It's all part of the documentation. I just want to give you these highlights of info up front. So, but the link is here. You can just click on it in the information part and then see the details there. Okay, let's talk about features. For example, for subscription billing and for DYCE in a second. So, first of all, subscription billing app from Microsoft is now extensible for quite a while, and you can make these modifications that you need in order to fulfill your requirements there. And the other features are parts that we added for Microsoft. We had this on our roadmap of things to do already when we were handing the app over, and we were actually telling them and persuading them that we would really see these features as parts of the standard, because we were so close to implementing this, and it would make absolutely sense to integrate this into the product. So it's now possible to create contract lines manually. So you don't need to create a subscription first and then use the extend contract functionality. You can do this now by creating just a new line in the contract, and the subscription is then created automatically in the background. You can, if you have a purchase invoice, you can call basically the vendor contract lines into that purchase invoice, or even if you have a purchase invoice with lines in it because you imported it somehow, you can connect the lines to the corresponding contract lines. So this was also a gap that we had in SRB for all the time, and now we close this gap for Microsoft. You can now decide on whether you want to, on which contract line you want to create deferrals for. So not just per contract, and you have to create different contracts for deferrals or without deferrals. And you can now determine or basically control this, whether deferrals will be created per contract line. The rebilling is a little bit of a complicated topic, but it's more technical than functional. It is possible now to do these rebilling. Let's say if you have an annual subscription based on usage data, and something changes to this subscription, and you receive new usage data during the period that has already been invoiced, you will receive new usage data, mostly from Microsoft and for other distributors. And then you need to be able to reprocess these usage data, although the contract has already been invoiced. So this is now in, and we had to introduce some technical parts in it, but you can basically go back and forth several steps if you want, with crediting and rebilling and processing new usage data. So this is was actually a big, it was a huge effort that we had to take, and we are quite happy that this is now in the product. The support for variants is also included, but in this case not in the combination with usage data in the conjunction, because variants don't make sense in usage data, but we can discuss this separately if this is if you have questions there. But basically, if variants are not left out anymore. And currently in development, these are the last two topics that we are doing or implementing for Microsoft's automation for the billing, so you can basically schedule creating of documents and the invoicing of it. So it's billing automation, and you can pause the billing of contracts. Basically, the subscription will receive a quantity of 0, and then it's paused as long as the subscription stays on this 0 quantity. So these all go into the docs right now as I'm working on this, because I'm the one doing this also for Microsoft. I put the link in here to the subscription billing docs that have been updated during the summertime towards terminology that this is now all aligned. I will hand it over in the next couple of days, maybe a few weeks, and I think it's reasonable to expect them to be available and approved from Microsoft in November. So you can basically find all these details here explained. They are a little bit more elaborated. And then the DYCE portfolio. I mean, not all of the apps have to be touched in order to make them compatible, but some of them need to support stuff that has been moved from SAP to subscription billing. So for example, the price list import, you can process vendor price lists and create these references that you need for usage data also now for Microsoft. And this is a new functionality that hasn't been in DYCE before, is you can use extended descriptions also in contracts and in the subscription lines. It's basically transferred from sales to the contract line, or it's created there from scratch and then transferred to the invoice again. The subscription renewal page is part of the Microsoft, the Managed Service Providers app, and the DYCE Cockpit now supports this, and you can basically set a cockpit filter or a cockpit queue on this, and to see, okay, which renewals are running out in the next 6 weeks from now, and then you can see, okay, where do I have to react on what that is in the near future. And of course, like normal compatibility, like contract subscriptions showing up in the record history, the smart workflow tool, you can set statuses in the contracts. The document tracker finds these contracts and the invoices for it. And yeah, the recurring prepaid services, for example, they can be now loaded or topped up from the contracts from the subscription billing, and the managed service providers also switched to use the subscriptions instead of the service credits. So this is the normal compatibility thing that needs to that needed to be made like compatible again and working with the Microsoft standard now. So this is for subscription billing and the compatibility from the DYCE portfolio. And now what's coming even on top of that, it's an outlook on the new app. It's called Feature Suite for subscription billing. And we're starting with the first set of features, and this is already in development. You'll be able to pre-select basically a contract in a sales line and to determine, okay, the subscription lines that are behind that, connected to the sales line, go into that particular contract. You don't have to assign this anymore later on. And the most important one is tier pricing. Now, this is we will introduce two more levels or two more types of tier pricing. That is flat tier pricing and true tier pricing. This is basically you have a quantity, and the whole pricing tier is determined based on this quantity, and the amount for that pricing tier is then taken into consideration, not the unit price anymore. This is flat tier pricing, and true tier pricing is you sum up each price tier that there is, and the whole amount is then taken into consideration when it comes to the pricing for the whole amount. This will be in sales a little bit later on, but it's kind of like the base is laid in the sales area, and it's for the contracts first, and it also covers usage data, so you can use this both in the normal subscriptions kind of and contract lines, and also in combination with usage data. So the initial release, since we're currently in development, is planned for middle of December. So it's a little Christmas surprise. And we already know that we want to go on from here, implementing this also in the sales line is the next goals, and to introduce inclusive volume that is covered with usage data. So you can basically say, okay, there is a kind of like a fixed amount, and as long as you stay within that amount of usage volume, that's fine. And once you exceeded this volume, then you will be able to charge extra for this. This is already planned, but there are even more ideas for this app. We would like to have maybe even more options for the price update that is currently implemented as part of Microsoft subscription billing, and for those who were working with the subscriptions or come from the managed service area, you may want to have more fields taken over from the customer and other information that can be stored in the subscription itself, which didn't make it into the product initially for a reason, but we're now filling this gap, and like to support this with this new app. So if you have even more ideas on what you want to bring in and what you would like to see, you can create a new idea or even look at the existing ideas that we have. This is the link to our feature voting platform. So feel free to take a look there and even create new ideas here. Okay, so that was the lookout for the feature suite. And I'm at the end of my part that I wanted to present to you. And now we can actually switch to a Q&A. So if you have questions, feel free. Or post it in the chat. We can also follow up on them later on, I think. Ari, right?
Yeah, exactly. So first of all, thank you, Toby, so much for your valuable insights. And now you have time to ask all of your questions. I think we already have a question in the chat. But before you answer, I'm gonna stop the recording right now, and then we can move on with the questions.